Elections in Uganda have always been a heightened season for all Ugandans to choose leaders to represent their views in Parliament. This has been the case for over 30 years until last year when everything changed. There was a new candidate known for competition, but one who disrupted normalcy, brought the world to a screeching halt. Everything changed with COVID-19, including how elections were going to be conducted in the new normal. With the nature of the elections today, we invited some of the stakeholders to speak to us about their role. Reminisce on the old golden days before COVID-19 changed the arena of politics, the factors at play in today's politics, as well as their predictions come the 14th of January 2021. Professor Badiamudeba, the founder of Uganda Institute of Technology, former Makerere University Vice-Chancellor, one that has been quite successful at his age, decided to run for presidency in 2016. He takes us behind the scenes to reveal what really happens on a campaign trail from the lenses of a candidate.
So in an election, if I'm a candidate, I have to minimize cheating by my opponents. I have to maximize cheating on my side to win. On my side, I have to maximize any opportunity to steal, I will steal. You saw President Trump, who was calling somebody hey, And cheating in an election is not about the day you cast. Like in America, they have been doing it without you knowing that they are doing it. They ensure like blacks who are going to vote maybe for a candidate they don't like, they ensure they are not on the register. You get it? So you are not on the register, you will not vote. But when somebody could have put you on the register and you vote, like in Georgia now, they registered so many of them, they have voted. And the results are now different. You get it? So, in terms of when you talk about malpractice, this rigging and so on, yes, it takes place in any election. Even if you go to UK, it happens everywhere. The issue is to what magnitude? Like now, in Uganda, on the register, you have people who died. You have people who are not known, who are ghosts, whom normally removed from the register, but in some places they remain. So some of them will vote. You'll find an incident where, at a given polling station, 99% of the people have voted, which is not possible, because including those who died, it can happen. You've seen it with parliamentary when they go for these petitions in courts. They say, but in this constituency, this register had 20,000 voters. How come for you, this form they signed is indicating 25,000 more than the ones who were supposed to have voted at that polling station? But this person, they voted for him at that polling station when they were voting for the other candidates, meaning that there was alteration of the declaration forms. So malpractice happen in all sorts of ways. You can have the people who are not supposed to vote voting. You can have the ghost voters voting, the underage voting. You can have the declaration form being altered. And you can also have where the declaration has been okay, but as now it is being transmitted to the district, something happens. And maybe the person at district enters the wrong figures. It can also happen genuinely without even planning it. You enter the wrong figure and it happens. So all these things happen, not just in Uganda, but everywhere. But the most important thing is to minimize. So when I hear my friend, the bishop, saying that stealing is a sin, people should not steal elections. No, in elections, people steal. Yes, wrong, but everybody, they want to maximize on their side. If there is it's wrong. So it happens. And even in this election, it's going to happen.
When asked about his take on the role of the EC on the voting day at different polling stations, Professor Badiamudeba had this to say.
That the Electoral Commission, they will not start with the constituency, where let's say, for example, Bobi Wine is popular. Because if they do, they can send a wrong message. You get me? If you announce your first results and say Bobi Wine has 74, people can see he has won, and then you are altering the results. But people's mind is not that sensitive. So you want to start with a constituency where maybe Bobi Wine and 7 are popular, and the margin is not that different. But if there is a big margin, then it should be from 7. not the other way around. Eh? And by the time we end the 14th, the results, like as you get into morning, whatever will have been counted, Museveni will not be below 60%. They'll pick the constituencies where he's not below 60%. And that is for purposes of peace. If an incumbent is going to lose, you want the results to come down. These are the results that are going to make this candidate lose. They have to come in last. You get it? But if you start the other way around, and then the incumbent is winning, they'll say you are altering the results. So, in a way, because we are in fragile countries like you look at Kenya and so on, that's what they do. They know that the President 7 is popular in Mbarara district, is not popular in Mukono, so they announce the results of Mbarara first. The ones of Mukono where is losing, they will come in later. But that is to manage people's expectations, not to rig, to manage people's expectations. So along the way, these other results where he's losing, they will come in. And if he's to lose, gradually, he will go over the 50% mark. But if he's going to win, then he'll remain up there.
On the issue of media accessibility for the presidential elections, Badiamureba emphasizes that candidates should have been a part of the race with a substantive amount of money to be able to reach all Ugandans at any cost, knowing that the state wouldn't make it easy for them. Professor Badiamureba argues that candidates should have planned well to reach their electorates at any cost. It isn't about the money, but about the outreach to all classes of Ugandans. According to Badiamureba, the electorates face so many challenges on the election day, both knowing and unknowingly, which affects the election and results from the voting day.
If I was a candidate and I'm going to campaign somewhere, the first thing would be to have something big like this. I show them how to vote. Then they go knowing this is how I'm going to vote. But that opportunity is also lost. So we are going to get so many votes that are null and void because most voters don't know how to vote. Others, as you said, out of excitement, it may not be excitement, some may not want to vote for a candidate, but thinks maybe somebody is watching and then it just sticks in the same place twice to ensure it is also null and void.
Professor Badiamureba also saluted Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu for having the courage to stand against all odds.
And I would like to congratulate Bobi Wine, by the way. Honorable Kyagulanyi, because to start like this, 2 years in parliament, you start NUP as a party, and you cause some storm. When you get 29-point-something% or 30%, it's something. It's something you can start from. But one thing that is going to happen, FDC is going to be written off as an opposition party. NUP is taking the leader of opposition in parliament. NUP is going to get the highest number of MPs in parliament in terms of opposition. FDC may follow. DP will get less than, will not get more than 5 MPs. JEMA may get 1, the one over Sarura. UPC may get about 3 or 4, and that's it. The other thing they are going to take is in Central Region. NUP is going to win in Kampala City, big time. And part of that will be part of a sympathy vote. When you declare Bob Prem 7 winner like on 15th, people are going to protest, what. So on 20th, they are going to come to vote for local councils, and it will be sympathy vote. So they will get that. And big up, even other parts of Central Region, they will get. Then there will be some wins, like in Eastern, a few maybe in Northern, scattered, because NUP do not fill the candidates in all constituencies. You get? So you don't expect NUP to get an LC5 chairperson where they never filled the candidate, to get a mayor where they never filled the candidate. Yes, that's what I'm saying. So Museveni will not go below 50%. Looking at the situation, he's going to get a block vote from Western Region. He's going to win. He's not going to win. He's going to get good votes, not less than 30% in Central Region. He will win Northern Uganda. Eastern, Bobi Wine can take it or he can take it. So in Eastern, the district Museveni is going to win, Bobi Wine will win. You get? And when you do the overall average, we shall find out who has won Eastern.
On the post-election violence, Badiamureba says he doesn't foresee any chaotic scenes.
People are excited. People will say they're going to be in security, but no. What I know, the one thing is that Museveni knows that he cannot give chance to any uprising. Because if you give chance to an uprising and say handle slowly, it can become bigger than you can manage. So if there is any minor uprising anywhere, it's going to be crushed very fast, but at a huge cost. Because crushing it very fast, people will lose their lives. But again, people will disappear completely after that. But that's at a huge cost.